Our first speaker is Iannis Drakos. He's the Chief Consultant of Research and Precision Medicine, Operations, Research and Innovation, Region Zealand in Denmark. Currently, he is leading the design and implementation of precision medicine in Region Zealand as part of the National Vision for Precision Medicine. He is also the project leader for integrating omics with clinical data for the European Society of Clinical Cell Analysis.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here to describe a journey that began in Denmark 3 months ago. So we are relatively new to the OHDSI community, and the main reason that I'm here is to transmit the message to anyone else who is also new and having concerns if this is the right way to go, that yes, it is the right way to go. In Denmark, we are having multiple efforts targeting the utilization of the rich data scene of health data to promote precision medicine and in general tools for the bedside. And in this effort, during summer 2018, everybody in the country who was working in the field created an alliance so we can do the evaluation and tests together. I have to mention the Danish region of Copenhagen, the region of Zealand, Copenhagen University, the university hospitals of Denmark, and a special mention to Odysseus Data Services, Inc. But without their help, we couldn't achieve the speed and smooth level of integration that we couldn't even imagine when we began this effort. So to you understand what we are doing, I have to spend the time describing the health data scene, which has a unique person identifier going back to 5 decades, late 60s. And in Denmark, by law, every bit of health information produced within any level of healthcare system, from primary care to hospital, is digitally stored and archived. And all this information have this unique identifier and can be cross-linked together. After being stored to the National Archive, they are distributed in 116 quality databases, and this process includes intensive quality control and governance. And anyone involved in clinical practice or research can request to have access to this data. It has to go through a strict application process. And there is also a nice data life cycle, and at any level, if there is an error identified in this data, it will be, the correction will be submitted back to the national registries and even to the electronic health record that holds the original information. And just to give you an understanding, I'm having a list of our registries. Some of them are starting from 1875, the Causes of Death Registry, or the Cancer Registry, which began during the Second World War. And the point is not to go through all the registries, but to identify or to describe the richness of the data scene in Denmark. So what we are trying to do now within the precision medicine is to convert this information and give something back to the people who produce it, and either help citizens not become patients or patients go back to being citizens as soon as possible. And for this, obviously, we need a strong research infrastructure that will accelerate the process of converting research results into clinical services. And we are focusing on improving the healthcare services and having on top data and security by the legislation being extremely strict in the country of Denmark. So within the National Vision for Personalized Medicine, that is an investment running and will continue running for the next 5 years, we did a lot of traveling going around the planet to identify the best integration layer. So out of these 116 national registries that we have, to be able to combine this information and to make it more easily accessible to researchers, but also clinicians. And during this evaluation process, traveling around the world, we identify many, not many, but some data models, and following what is happening in Germany, in the Netherlands, in Sweden, in Switzerland, France, and United Kingdom, we were convinced that the OHDSI CDM was the way to go. And actually, we were surprised to see that the German Ministry of Health even referring to OMOP-CDM by name in their guidelines for health data storage. So before making the final commitment, that became official yesterday. So now it's not an evaluation anymore. We will go with OMOP-CDM as the foundation for precision medicine in Denmark. We choose 6 characteristic sources as colorectal cancer, biochemistry, pathology, drugs, anesthesia, and microbiology to build a proof of concept and convince everyone, including our politicians, that this is the right way to go. And these are the numbers. I don't have time to go into the details, but we are using around 20,000 different concepts to describe 75,000 patients. And this CDM and the tools became live, so in production a few weeks ago. That's why I'm saying I'm here to describe the journey. The results are not so concrete yet. Even though we have nice overlap between the different domains contributing information and the 75,000 subjects we are having. And the lead research in this effort is the Clinical Center for Surgical Science, led by Professor Ismail Goganur. And we are targeting to see how we can help patients with colorectal cancer reduce postoperative complications, the reappearance of the disease, and reduce mortality. And at this point, I would like to invite anyone who feels brave enough to collaborate, some people who are in the beginning of their journey, to collaborate with us and run studies that will help us better understand OHDSI, OMOP-CDM, and the community tools, but also will help others interact with the Danish data scene. And this is some very preliminary results, but what happened around 10 days ago, and even though it's the first results, the quality indexes are very promising in regards predicting postoperative outcomes for colorectal cancer. But what I would like to focus is how this began. And it was during June 2018 when all the stakeholders of personalized medicine in Denmark gathered in a room. And the main reason that we were convinced to continue with OMOP-CDM is the way these researchers are looking to Peter from Erasmus Medical Center. And we were very lucky and fortunate to have Peter and Patrick visiting us, explaining how we can do things and what exactly is the benefit by using OHDSI community tools. And they were discussing with Jesper Grarup, is the person that you see on the left, and Ismail Goganur is the person that you see on the right. This discussion was in June 2018. And less than 3 months afterwards, we have newspaper articles describing what Jesper is doing in personalized medicine. And this happened yesterday. It's one of the biggest events in Denmark about innovation, business, and health. It includes more than 5,500 participants, and as you can see, the Prime Minister gave the welcome speech. And we had 2 invited speaks from our administration describing exactly the benefits of OMOP-CDM because the preliminary results, at least at administration level, are quite impressive. And I can tell you about Professor Ismail Goganur that is in the process of writing, is being accepted, and in less than 2 months it will be an editorial in a surgical journal with a nice impact factor. It's between 6 and 7. Describing the benefits of using OMOP-CDM to accelerate the results of research into benefits for patients. And this is a big thank you to everybody of you, because the biggest score in our evaluation wasn't the advantages of the CDM that was identified as the most advanced. Wasn't the tools that offer the more integrated services, but it was the community. And I can say this with confidence because I'm part of similar communities, even with code contribution on GitHub, and OHDSI is by far the best community I've joined. Thank you.